dump, huh? Yeah, I must confess, I don't know, maybe part of my autism or whatever. Just it's a disaster. It's just a disaster. I can kind of sort of manage. Actually, goddamn it, this place really needs some sprucing up. But I want to bang out a few videos before I do. So this, yeah, right now I've got 5 Million Years to Earth, aka Quatermass on the Pit, premiering. No, no, I'm sorry, that's coming. That's coming. You ain't got it yet. The Quatermass Experiment will be premiering tonight as I record this. Um, and I am going to try to bang out the next several weeks worth of videos as I sit here. Anyway, here's video one that I've wanted to talk about for a while, and this is 1989's Parents. This was directed by Bob Balaban. He was largely known as an actor, a great little character actor. You've probably seen him on Seinfeld. More mainstream-oriented people might have might know him from movies like Close Encounters. He has little small roles in that. Great actor. It's a lot of fun in Catch 22. He's done some banging stuff. How many times have I used the word banging so far? I need to maybe excise that from my vocabulary. Anyway. Parents. Yeah. Directed by Bob Balaban, written by Christopher Hawthorne. Music done by Jonathan Elias and Angelo Badalamenti of David Lynch fame. This is a good one. Man, I've been off on it in the past, but I am a black comedy aficionado. And a lot of people, they kind of move away from that. They try not to conflate it with, I guess, African American films or African American comedies or anything, and they say dark comedy. But a lot of what gets called dark comedy seems to be kind of diluted. I like it black. I like my comedy black, dark, just pit level dark. And I'm going to give you a lot of examples of that going forward, I think. There will be a few of those. The 80s and maybe the early 90s were just rife with some good, vicious comedies, and this was one of them. I could almost say this was like, I could liken this to, I don't know, the 1950s. As be the 50s with just the entire nasty kind of I don't want to say nasty because it wasn't perceived as nasty, but it's like, being born in the 60s, I recognize the footprint or the I'd say the footprint of the 50s in my culture. It was just when you see the retro homes with flat roofs and all the spiffy kind of mid-American kind of vibe, sparkly new consumer products and whatever. It's all a product of like post-World War II thinking and post-World War II, I would say, ingenuity. But back at a time when everyone was becoming a new homeowner, and back at the time people could afford homes, and just the kind of just sparkly consumerist kind of conformity of the Eisenhower era. They capture that beautifully, perfectly, and it just kind of like the the out by the cookout vibe. The cast in this is wonderful. Randy Quaid and Mary Beth Hurt playing the parents, the titular parents, who are just just every bit of wonderful, just towing the line. They're like Ward and June Cleaver with teeth, and then this kid named Bryan Madorsky, who is fantastic, playing Michael, the son, who's also basically the protagonist of the movie. And it's like they move to a new town, and you definitely get the feeling that they're not quite right, and particularly little Michael is not quite right. It's very obvious, and his teacher in the new school he's at is played by Sandy Dennis. Great actors, a lot of fun. Who is this is, I think, a very late role for her. I think she, not sure when exactly. When did she? Let's do a deep dive. When did Sandy Dennis die? 19. No. Oh God, yeah, 1992. But yeah. So this was 1989, so it was a very late role for her, and fantastic actress playing the very concerned, the really likable, really supportive, but really concerned teacher. And things happen in her class where she asks a certain question, asks the kids to stand up, the new kids stand up and say something about themselves, and say something about their lives. And he says something about, you take two dead cats and do something or other. One girl talks about how you put this and this together, and you get a martini, and you put an onion in it, and it's called a Madison. And she's just like, oh, but we don't drink those, do we? And then she moves on to Michael, who's got some horrific story about what you can, that if you take two dead cats and do this or that to them, you can turn invisible. And so, ping, 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 concern for this child. Anyway, as the plot evolves, the kind of conformity that was looked at as a kind of a progressive value back at that time. Randy Quaid and Mary Beth Hurt absolutely exude that energy. I mean, they're terrific. But you kind of get the impression underneath there's something wrong, and eventually you get to see that they're really big on eating meat and cooking meat. And just doing up tons and tons and tons and tons of meat. And it's like their breakfast layout, their dinner layout is like a meat market. It's like all the cookbooks from the 50s, if you ever get a look at them, it's almost like that, just a big layout of meat. And it just sausage, sliced steak type food, a lot of stuff like that. And the kid seems very wary of eating them. and he's having a lot of nightmares and everything. And as the plot progresses, it's like, geez, are mommy and daddy cannibals? Spoilers, they are. Yeah, this is rich. I love this movie, and you should check it out, parents. Yeah, love it.